There were no deer in this movie. No regular deer, no sacred deer, none with antlers, none without antlers. No deer. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. Welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween. Today we are going to be talking about probably one of the most arty movies on the list, which is called The Killing of a Sacred Deer. So this movie, had I known it was done by the director who also did the movie The Lobster, I probably would not have put it on my list. I've read stuff about The Lobster, and what I read made me realize I was never going to like that movie because it was just so high concept and just I was not going to like it. And usually directors, like, they can change like what they do from project to project, but something like that, like, that's just this guy's style, and he's going to carry that through with all his movies. So even though The Killing of a Sacred Deer is kind of like on those top 10 lists, top 100 lists, best horror movies of all times, I would not have put it on my list for that reason, because I don't care for highbrow arty films. And unfortunately, that's what this was for me. So this movie is about Colin Farrell's character, Dr. Stephen Murphy, who has had some issues in his life, but seems to have overcome them at this point. And he's got a wife played by Nicole Kidman, and he's got 2 kids named Bob and Kim. I don't remember their actors' names. And I actually don't remember the name of Nicole Kidman's character. It might have been Anna. So Dr. Stephen Murphy is meeting this kid named Martin. And Martin is really, really weird. Even more weird than the characters in this film as a whole, who talk very mechanically and very strangely. There's a dinner party scene where Stephen and Anna are talking to some friends or coworkers or whoever, and they're going back and forth, just like, it's almost as if they're literally just reading the script, like, without any thought to how to play the characters. It's like, oh, Bob is doing this. Oh, that's nice, my child's doing this. And then Colin Farrell's character's like, yes, and our daughter started menstruating, like, last week. And I was just like, what? Who shares that information with people at a party? I don't understand. And the whole time, it's just this back and forth between everybody talking. And at one point, just another example of how weird the conversation was, the daughter comes home and she's talking to her dad, Dr. Murphy, and she's like, oh, how's mom doing? Mom's doing fine. I saw Martin today. Oh, that's nice. What were you doing with Martin? Where's mom? Has the garden been watered? It was so weird, and I read that was the point of the movie, to make the really rich people seem weird and mechanical and stuff, and it helps to make the breakdown of the family more evident, like how crazy everybody starts acting as the movie goes on, because this kid Martin, who Dr. Murphy has, like, tried to take under his wing and mentor and, like, be a father figure to, is crazy. So Dr. Murphy apparently was operating on Martin's father, and Martin's father died. Martin now blames Dr. Murphy for this and decides that basically justice must be done, an eye for an eye. Dr. Murphy killed Martin's father, so now one of Dr. Murphy's family members must die. So Martin somehow puts a curse on the family, or drugs them, or something. It's never explained, but the family members will, according to Martin, first lose the ability to walk, then they will not eat, then blood will come from their eyes, and then they will die. And in order to make this process stop, Dr. Murphy must kill one of his family members in order to basically satisfy karma and see that justice is done. Wow. Yeah, it sounds like a crazy movie. It sounds like it would be really cool and interesting. But the way everybody acts is just so weird, and it's so just arty and just awkward. I couldn't get into it because I kept sitting there thinking, what is going on? The movie actually reminded me a lot of American Psycho, and I was trying to figure out what angle to come into this movie at in order to understand it. Because when I first saw American Psycho, I hated it because I didn't get it. And then when I found out that it was supposed to be a satire of um, horror movies and like that kind of rich working lifestyle, I was like, oh, okay, I get it, and I actually enjoy this movie. So I was sitting, I'm like, this has that feel of American Psycho where everybody talks like very properly and mechanically, and they're like nobody's truthful with each other, and then Bale's character starts murdering people. So I was trying to come at it from that angle, but that didn't seem to be the right angle either. Um, so it was hard to get into it to really understand where it was coming from. And apparently the reason why it's called The Killing of a Sacred Deer is because in Greek mythology, there's this character, Iphigenia, I believe they're called, and she has to sacrifice a sacred deer to please Artemis. So Artemis stops killing her family, something like that. But that's why it's called The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's supposed to be reminiscent of that. It's very, very loosely based on that. There's no killing of a sacred deer. There's supposed to be a killing of a family member. Um, so that is the movie in a nutshell, pretty much. Anything else that I'm going to talk about is probably going to be a spoiler, so I'm not. I'm just going to hop into the ratings and what like I rated it and stuff. So I rated it as a 2 because I didn't enjoy it at all. Parts of it, like I was like, oh, I think I'm going to get into this. I think I'm going to get into it. Maybe something good's going to happen. But the whole movie was just frustrating, and the characters, how they reacted to each other, it's a good portrait of like, I guess how rich people may react in like a dog eat dog sort of world. But I didn't connect with the movie. My friend gave it also a 2. Pretty much for the same reasons. He thought it was boring. And our ratings were pretty different from what the critics rated this movie. So it got a 7 on IMDb, and then on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is an 83, and general viewership is a 60. So obviously this movie's hitting better with the critics than it is with like regular people, which usually tends to happen in these sorts of movies, very high concept and arty and stuff. The critics usually love that and eat that up. And the general viewership is kind of like, what is this? I don't understand. So I cannot in good faith recommend this movie, much like a lot of the other movies that I rated really, really low. I would not recommend them. I can't find anything within this that I enjoyed to say, oh yes, this is why I would recommend it. The only reason why I would recommend this is if you like this director's other work. I can't remember what his other movie was other than The Lobster, because this is apparently pretty much like those as far as like storytelling and thematic and that stuff. But yeah, I can't think of a personal reason why I myself would recommend this movie to others. So watch at your own risk. And if you are interested in going to see it and you don't want to hear the spoilers, now is your time to go find your own sacred deer. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video. And we are moving into spoilers. So the whole idea where he has to choose someone to kill, normally in a movie like this, or not in a movie like this, but normally in a movie where a parent has to wind up killing one of their children, the other parent is usually like, no, me, pick me. I will sacrifice myself for the children because I love the children. Colin Farrell never thinks about killing himself, even though this is supposedly his fault, but he blames everybody else except himself. And then Nicole Kidman's character is like, oh no, don't kill me, kill one of the children because we can always have more children. It's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, and even if like I don't work or you don't work, we can always try IVF and like we'll just have more. And then the kids are basically like trying to vie for their father's favor. And Kim says to Bob at one point, "Oh, we all know that I'm the favorite, so you're gonna die. So when you die, can I have your MP3 player?" And then poor Bob, I felt so bad for Bob. Bob was like the nicest out of all of them. I mean, he was a snotty little 12-year-old, but all 12-year-olds are snotty. He wasn't snotty the same way that, like, Kim was. Kim betrayed her whole family for Martin and continued to betray her family for Martin, even when she knew that Martin was the cause of all their problems. And then the mother, oh, I don't even get me started on her with what she said. Poor Bob is like, "Dad, I finally cut my hair. I should have done it like you said, and I'm really sorry. I'm such a bad son, but like, look, I cut my hair." And he's basically trying to convince Colin Farrell to not kill him, for him not to be the sacrifice so the rest of them can live. Oh my goodness, that was awful. And then just, why? I don't get it. And then at the end, Colin Farrell puts his family members in the living room, bound with pillowcases over their heads. And then, as he's standing in the room with a rifle, I sit there and I'm like, he's not going to spin around in circles and try to shoot one of them, is he? And sure enough, that's what he does. Probably the most inefficient way to get this done, because they're not in like a small diameter circle. Like they're in a really big circle. So now it's like he misses like 3 or 4 times before he finally shoots one of them. So it just prolongs this agony, and I don't mean the good kind of tense agony. I mean the agony of just like, can this movie be over already? Why does it have to be 2 hours long? And then who does he kill? Not one of the people who deserve it most. He kills Bob. Poor Bob. Why? Why did he have to kill Bob? Why? What? He should. Should have just killed the mother or himself. Sacrifice yourself for your family. But I guess that's not the point of this movie. The point of this movie is how selfish people are and how awful they are. And just the movie was just awful. It was not a good movie for a lot of reasons. It was slow. It wasn't tense in the right parts. It was so incredibly awkward. And for me, it felt like without purpose. I think you could have come across with the same message about how people are selfish without like all this awkwardness and just, and then you kill Bob. You lost me at that point, because then like they go to the diner where Colin Farrell used to take Martin to. I don't understand why you would go to that diner specifically. Go to a different diner. There's probably tons of diners where you live. But they go there, and Martin walks in, and there's this weird, awkward exchange where everybody's staring at each other, and then Kim starts shoving food in her mouth after you get this close-up of her squirting ketchup all over it. And I googled like what the point of the ending is supposed to be, and it was basically like, oh, the parents can't stand to look at Martin, and Kim is still possibly trying to run away with him. So it's just this weird exchange. It made no sense. I don't get it. It's too fancy for me. So again, I don't recommend this movie unless that's your jam. I don't even feel like giving it away. I really don't even feel like I gave away any spoilers. Because I feel like if you pay attention the whole time, you know Bob's going to be the one to die. He's the first one to get sick. He is the youngest character. And it's kind of like, because he's the best out of them, he's going to be the one to die. That's just the kind of movie this is. All the bad people get to live. The best of them die. So, yeah. Don't recommend. So that's it for this movie. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. Unfortunately for me, because I had to watch it. Fortunately for all of us, because I'm basically done with it. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and I will see you guys in the next one for hopefully a better movie. Bye.